The next question, if z equals 2 plus square root of negative 12, then z equals 4 and the theta here pi over 3, true or false. So, how we are gonna solve this question? So, we have here z as a given, and we have here z. He wants us to find the value of z here, but in the polar form. And this is in algebra form, obviously. So, z equals 2 plus square root of negative 12. Now, we saw something interesting here. Negative inside the square root of 2. And we all know how to deal with this problem. The negative will be I outside the square root, and what inside the square root still out of solve. Okay, now z equals 2 plus. Now 12 here, consider it as 3 multiplied by 4, and here I still out of solve. Now z will be 2 plus what? The square root of 4 is 2, okay? So 2. And the square root of 3, I don't know. So still out of solve, 3. And I here still out of solve. So this is z. But this is z in what? In which form? In algebra form. And the question says, z, or he wants us, the question wants us to find z in polar form. So I must change this to a polar form. So let us change it. Because this is z, so we have to find r here, the length. The length x squared plus y squared. So r equals, who's x? The real part, which is 2, but squared, it will be 4 plus. Who's y? The imaginary part, without using I, without taking it. Just the number here. 2 multiplied by square root of 3. But here, square. So the square of 2 equals 4 multiplied by. The square root of 3 will be 3. So r equals 4, still our solve, plus 4 multiplied by 3, 12. So the length equals 4 multiplied by 12, it will be 16, and the square root of 16 equals 4. The length must be positive, okay? Don't forget this information. Now this is r. Now let us find the theta, or the argument. The theta, we can use this tan theta equals y over x. So tan theta equals, who's y? Obviously the imaginary part, which is 2 square root of 3, 2 multiplied by square root of 3. And who's x? The real part, which is 2 here. Now I can cancel 2 from the denominator with 2 with the numerator. So tan theta equals square root of 3. Now ask yourself a question. Tan what equals square root of 3? We all know that tan 60 equals square root of 3. So the theta here is 60. And here z is existing in the first quadrant, so it will be the same theta. So theta equals 60. Now, so z in complex number in polar form equals, this is r here, the length. I found it, which is 4, and the argument of the theta here, 60, and it will be pi over 3, the same thing. 60 or pi over 3, they are the same thing. So this is z in polar form. So let us it's the same for pi over 3. So yeah, for pi over 3. So here it's true. I hope you understand. So let us move on to the next question. If iz equals 2 and the argument here, or the theta 120, then z equals square root of 3 plus I. So he gives us, here in polar form, the given, and he wants us to find the value of z in algebra form. So let us take the given, which is iz equals 2 and 120. So he wants us to find just z, but in the given here, he gives us iz. I just want z here. I want to get rid of I. So easy, by dividing by I the both sides. So I can cancel I with I. So z here alone equals. But here in the numerator, this complex number in polar form, and in the denominator I in algebra form, I want them the same. So it's easy to turn or to change I here to polar form. Okay, so 2 and 120. So I want to change I here as pure imaginary number and positive. So the number here, the coefficient of I here 1, and the theta, because it's pure imaginary number and positive, it will be pi over 2 or 90. So 90. Now z equals, this is a definition in polar form. We have to divide the length here. So 2 over 1 equals 2, and subtract what? Subtract the the argument, or the theta. So it will be 120 negative 90. It will be 30. Okay. So this is 2 and 30. This is z in what? In polar form, but he wants us to find it in algebra form. So what I'm going to do now, to change this to algebra form. How, teacher? Come with me, I'll show you. So z equals, first of all, to change from polar form to algebra form, I have to write it here in general form. So it will be 2 here as a length, and cosine the theta here, which is 30, plus I sine theta, which is 32. Now z equals 2 still are solved. The length here still are solved without any changing. So cosine 30, we know that cosine 30 equals, you have to keep these rules. If you don't keep them, you cannot solve any question. So cosine 30 equals square root of 3 over 2, plus I here still are solved. So sine 30 equals half. Now, what about multiplying what out outside the bracket by what inside the bracket? So z equals 2 multiplied by square root of 2, plus I have multiplied by this 2 also. So what about canceling this with this and canceling this with this? Okay, so z equals, still here what? Square root of 3, plus still here what? I multiplied by 1, which is I. So this is z, but in algebra form. So let us see. Square root of 3 plus I, square root of 3 plus I. So the answer is correct. Did you understand? I hope you do. Thank you for watching. See you later.